Topic for today's discussion is moving coil galvanometer. What is a galvanometer? A galvanometer is a device used to detect the presence of electric current. A galvanometer is a device used to detect the presence of electric current. We are going to study about a pointer type moving coil galvanometer. So let us look into it in detail. This is the basic arrangement of a moving coil galvanometer, as you will find this picture in your NCERT textbook. The arrangement consists of, you can see, a soft iron core over which a coil of certain number of turns are wound. The coil and the iron core is placed in a radial magnetic field. Radial magnetic field. Radial means always the magnetic field has a component perpendicular to the plane of the loop as well as. Always it will have a component perpendicular to the plane of the loop. Always magnetic field will be perpendicular to the plane of the loop as well as it is perpendicular to the area vector also, because at this point this is the direction of the magnetic field and there is another magnetic field coming from here also, such that magnetic moment. So always the angle between the magnetic field vector and the magnetic moment vector will remain to be 90 degree. And the other end of the coil is connected to a spring to provide the required, necessary restoring effect. This is a construction. Now you can see that this is the pointer which will show the deflection corresponding to the current. Now the ends of the coils are connected to the two terminals of the galvanometer, to which we connect the external circuitry. Okay, now let us explain the working of this galvanometer. The principle involved is a current carrying coil placed in an external magnetic field experience a torque. Yesterday we studied about the same. A current carrying coil in an external uniform magnetic field experience a torque. Another devices which use the same principle is electric motor, fan. These are all using the same principle, that a current carrying coil in an external field experience a torque. Yes. Let us discuss this point. When a current is passed through the coil will experience a deflecting torque given by the formula M cross D. This is the torque in vector form. And in scalar form, the deflecting torque is given by MD sin theta, where theta is the angle between the magnetic field vector and the magnetic moment vector. In this case, as I told you, the radial magnetic field is radial and it will always be perpendicular to the plane as well as area vector. So theta is equal to 90 degree. Everywhere it is perpendicular to the plane. If I look at here, there is a magnetic field perpendicular here, also here. Now in this case, magnetic moment is likewise, magnetic field is likewise, the angle between magnetic moment and magnetic field is 90 degree. With this magnetic field, the torque is maximum. Torque is maximum with this magnetic field. Just like here, when the coil is present here, this magnetic field will provide the maximum torque. So always the angle between the magnetic field vector and the magnetic moment vector is 90 degrees. So in this case, the torque is equal to MV. But what is M is equal to? We have learned that M is equal to I into A for 1 turn. This is what we studied yesterday, where A is the coil. Suppose if the coil has got n turns, the moment of 1 turn is Ia. That means for n turns, the total magnetic moment will become IAN or simply NIA. You can remember as National Investigation Agency, NIA. That is the magnetic moment. Therefore, I will get the deflecting torque is equal to NIA, or rather I will prefer to write it like this: B A N I. that is band I. The deflecting torque is equal to band I. Let us keep this as equation number 1. Now what happens? So I told you there is a coil here and it is attached to a spring. When the coil rotates, the spring will twist. The spring twist. When the coil rotates, underneath that we connect a spring. When the coil rotates, as a result of the rotation of the coil, the underneath spring will twist. When the spring undergoes a twisting effect, a restoring torque will be developed in the spring. A restoring torque will be developed in the spring, and that restoring torque is given by tau is equal to k theta, where k is a constant called torsional constant. K is called torsional constant, or coupled per unit twist. Twist in this case means the angle. It's also called coupled per unit angle. Twist is the angle to which it is turned. It is coupled per unit twist or coupled per unit angle. So this is tau is equal to k theta. That is equation number 2 for us. Now the question comes, what about under equilibrium? So this is a deflecting torque, restoring torque acting the opposite direction. Deflecting torque, restoring torque. Deflecting torque, restoring torque. Deflecting torque, restoring torque. They are acting in the opposite direction. So under equilibrium, the deflecting torque is equal to the restoring torque. It's an easy topic, let me tell you. Under equilibrium, the deflecting torque is equal to the restoring torque. That means band I is equal to k theta O. I is equal to, what will be I equal to then? I is equal to k theta, k divided by BAN into theta. I is equal to k divided by BAN into theta. And then, so from here I got I by theta is equal to k divided by BAN. I by theta is k divided by BAN. And this term is called a galvanometer constant. The term k divided by BN is called a galvanometer constant, or figure of merit. This is called a galvanometer constant, or otherwise we call it by the name figure of merit. The unit of this term is, the unit of galvanometer or figure of merit is ampere per meters, ampere per division. The unit of this quantity is ampere per division, So because that twist is measured, as per this figure, the twist is measured in terms of, as the coil rotates, the twist is measured in terms of these divisions. That's the reason why the unit of this galvanic constant or figure of merit is ampere per division. Okay, now we will move to the first and important point of this one, that is current sensitivity. Current sensitivity of a galvanometer. The current sensitivity of a galvanometer is defined as, it is the deflection per, current sensitivity is defined as the deflection per unit current. The deflection per unit current is what is defined as current sensitivity, that is theta divided by I. Theta divided by I. So which means the answer will be equal to BAN divided by E. You can see from this one. Okay. Now the question, how do current sensitivity and figure of merit depends? For better current sensitivity, the figure of merit should be small. For better current sensitivity, figure of merit must be small. So generally the figure of merit is of the unit 10 raised to f of the order 10 raised to minus 5 ampere per division. Why? You can understand. Because figure of merit must be small for a good galvanometer, because we need a greater sensitivity. We need a greater sensitivity, so figure of merit must be small for a galvanometer. Right? Okay, now the question comes, in what ways we can increase the current sensitivity of a galvanometer? Current sensitivity can be increased in one of ways. Yes, the first one is we can increase the number of turns. When number of turns increases, current sensitivity increases, right? I will do a problem. This is CS. That is, current sensitivity is equal to theta by I. That is equal to VA by K. So when number of turns increases, the current sensitivity of the galvanometer increases. Now the second point. Okay, use powerful magnet. Use powerful magnet. This is another way of increasing the current sensitivity of a galvanometer. Use powerful magnet. Stronger the magnetic field, greater is the current sensitivity. Then another thing we can say, coil of wider area. Coil of wider area will increase the current sensitivity. Then fourth one is use spring of lesser torsional constant. Lesser torsional constant. But generally what we do is the first point only what we will generally take. Because these two will use torsional constant, small means there is a more chance of getting damage. So this is not generally going to occur for a galvanometer. Again, coil of wider area means it will increase the size of the galvanometer. So the better way to increase the current sensitivity is to increase the number of turns of the galvanometer coil. Okay, that is regarding current sensitivity. Now let us study about the voltage sensitivity of the galvanometer. Voltage sensitivity. Current sensitivity is defined as the deflection per unit current. Voltage sensitivity can be defined as the deflection per unit voltage. That is theta divided by I into G, where G is the galvanometer resistance. This will be equal to the current sensitivity divided by G, I can say. What is the expression for current sensitivity? It is equal to BAN divided by K, that is current sensitivity, that multiplied by G. Now the question comes, okay, G is what? The resistance of the galvanometer coil. Now we will write the resistance of the galvanometer coil is equal to rho into L divided by small l. The resistance of the wire of the coil of the galvanometer, that is rho L by A. Rho, resistivity, is the coil. Rho is the resistivity of the coil. L, the total length of the wire of the coil. And A is the cross-sectional area of the wire of the coil. Which means I can write rho by A into N. N is the number of turns into L1. Here L1 means what? L1 is the length of 1 turn of a galvanometer coil. L1 is the length of 1 turn of a galvanometer coil, which means I can write voltage sensitivity is equal to BAN divided by K into rho by A NL1. L1 is the length of 1 turn of the galvanometer coil. This is equal to, I can say, this N and N will get cancelled. B capital A small a, B capital A small a divided by K into rho into L1. Now see this expression, the number of turns is not coming, which means the voltage sensitivity of a galvanometer cannot be improved by increasing, or cannot be increased by increasing the number of turns of the coil. Very important sentence sir is saying current sensitivity can be increased by increasing the number of turns of the coil, but voltage sensitivity of a galvanometer cannot be increased by increasing the number of turns of the coil. What are the methods of increasing the voltage sensitivity? Voltage sensitivity can be increased by 1. Using powerful magnets. Then the second way we can increase is greater area of cross section of the coil, greater cross sectional area. Area of the coil. But generally the first one should be the appropriate one. The other things will always increase the size of the galvanometer, so we will not go for that. Okay, this is what is regarding voltage sensitivity. One more thing we can say is use spring-off law torsional constant as I told on the other day. That will reduce the restoring effect, or that will cause damage the meter easily. So now we will think about the next idea. That idea is regarding conversion of galvanometer to the conversion of the galvanometer to voltmeter. So, what is a voltmeter? A voltmeter is a device used to measure potential difference across a circuit. You have studied this circuit Ohm's law. We connect a voltmeter likewise in the circuit. This is how you connect the voltmeter. Voltmeter is connected in parallel. Why voltmeter is connected in parallel? Because in parallel connection only we can measure the potential difference. Now if the current drawn from here is I, we expect that current itself to pass through this resistance. Which means the current through the voltmeter should be, if IV is the current through the voltmeter, that should tend to 0. Because already we learned that whenever we use a measuring instrument, that instrument should not alter the original configuration of the system. That should not alter the original configuration of the system. So let me tell you, the current through the voltmeter must be negligible. How can current be negligible? We have to say that the potential difference V is equal to IR, that is equal to IV into RV. RV is the resistance of the voltmeter. If V is finite, from here from RV can be said as V divided by IV. Here I said IV tends to 0, which means R tends to infinity. A voltmeter must have very high resistance. The resistance of the voltmeter is expected to be very high. The resistance of the voltmeter is expected to be very high. For an ideal voltmeter, the resistance is infinity. The resistance of an ideal voltmeter is infinity. Generally, if you are getting a question with a voltmeter only, with its resistance not specified, means treat it as an ideal voltmeter. If the resistance of the voltmeter is not specified, always take it as infinity. In that situation, current through that one will be negligible. Now the question comes, how can we convert a galvanometer into voltmeter? This is our galvanometer and I want to convert the same to a voltmeter. The current through the galvanometer, let me say this is IG. IG stands for the current through the galvanometer. I want the galvanometer resistance is G, which is generally of the order of say 50 ohm or 100 ohm. that cannot be considered as a large resistance. Now I want to convert this galvanometer into resistance is G. I want to convert this into something that gives infinite resistance. I want to convert this galvanometer into something that gives infinite resistance. Means what should I do? I must connect what? I must connect a high resistance in series. High resistance in series. Now this forms what is called our voltmeter. This arrangement forms our voltmeter. Now the voltmeter, let V be the full scale deflection voltage. Full scale deflection voltage of the voltmeter. V is the full scale deflection voltage of the voltmeter. Now Ig, full scale deflection current. Full scale deflection current of the galvanometer. Galvanometer or voltmeter. Ig, full scale deflection current of the galvanometer. Then I can say that from here V is equal to Ig into G plus S. G, what is G? It is the galvanometer resistance. Yes, the resistance to be connected in series to convert into a voltmeter which gives a full scale deflection voltage V. From here I can say S is equal to V by Ig minus G. The value of the series resistance required is S is equal to V by Ig into G. Okay, now this is a formula we use in order to convert a galvanometer into voltmeter. Now let us try a question. A 0 to 100 milliampere galvanometer is to be converted to a voltmeter of range 0 to 10 ampere. Sorry, 10 volt. 0 to 10 volt. Find the value of the series resistance. Find the value of the series resistance. Required if G is equal to 50 ohm. That is, galvanometer resistance is 50 ohm. This is our question. Now, please read the question, all of you, and try for a minute by pausing this video. Okay, let us discuss. What is Ig given? Ig is equal to 100 milliampere, which is equal to 0.1 ampere. So, perhaps it's a very large current. What is V given? 10 volt. What is G given? 50 ohm. You want to find out that series resistance. Let us see. So we have a formula for series resistance. S is equal to V divided by Ig minus G. V, how much? 10 volt divided by Ig. Ig is 0.1 ampere minus 50. 10 divided by 0.1 is 100. 100 minus 50 is 50 ohm is in this equation we want. but this is not at all a useful one in a practical circuit because it is going to draw some current from the circuit. So this is just a practice question only. Now we will consider the next topic, that is conversion of galvanometer to ammeter. How can we convert a galvanometer to ammeter? Now we will draw the same circuit we did earlier. A resistance are connected with an ammeter. So my question, how to connect an ammeter in a practical circuit? Is it series or parallel? It has to be series, because in series circuit only what we have to say is what current is saying. The current is saying only in a series circuit. See this question. So here the voltage, so I will say the entire supply voltage is expected to be across this one. Supply voltage. That means what is the voltage across the ammeter tends to 0. The current is not 0. In this case, the current I is equal to V by R, which means I can say I into resistance of the ammeter tends to 0, or the resistance of the ammeter tends to 0 in the case of a practical circuit. For an ideal ammeter, its resistance is 0. Please understand. So my question is, how can we convert a given galvanometer into ammeter? This is galvanometer, and we will connect a small value resistance in series. Parallel. In the previous case, we have connected a small value resistance in series. High value resistance in series. In the previous case, we have connected a high value resistance in series. Here we will connect a small value resistance in parallel, because in parallel combination the effective resistance is less than the least resistance. Effective resistance is less than the least resistance. Now this forms the circuit of an ammeter. This is ammeter. Now here I can say the main current is I. Ig is what? The full scale deflection current of the galvanometer. I is full scale deflection current of ammeter. So please understand. What is I? FSD of ammeter. FSD in this context means full scale deflection current of ammeter. Full scale deflection current of ammeter is I. Now we can see here. From here I can say Ig into G, because this resistance and galvanometer are connected in parallel, and this current is I, means this will be I minus Ig according to Kirchhoff junction rule. This should be equal to I minus Ig into S. Now I will take Ig common factor. This is I by Ig minus 1 into Ig into S. Okay, from here Ig will cancel, and we will get S is equal to G divided by I by Ig minus 1. This is the shunt resistance. We call it by the name shunt resistance, required to convert a given galvanometer into an ammeter. Let us practice a question for this purpose. A 0 to 10 microampere galvanometer. Of resistance 50 ohm to 0 to 1 ampere ammeter. Calculate the shunt required. Calculate the shunt required. This is a question. What is given? Ig is equal to 10 microampere. G is equal to 50 ohm. I is equal to 1 ampere. Now try for a minute. Okay. You might have got the answer. S is equal to G divided by, as far as possible, write the formula I by Ig minus 1. What is G? 50 divided by I, 1 ampere. 1 divided by 10 into 10 raised to minus 6 minus 1. This is equal to 50 divided by 10 raised to 5 minus 1. This is 10 raised to 5. Or this is equal to 5 into 10 to the power minus 4 ohm. This much small resistance is what we are connecting in order to convert 5 into 10 raised to minus 4 ohm. It's a very small resistance, let me tell you. This is the resistance required. I hope I am right with my calculation. This is the resistance required in order to convert a given galvanometer into what? An ammeter whose range is 1 ampere. Hope this section is clear to you.